Hey guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a very short and sweet non-fiction book haul in honor of Non-Fiction November. Non-fiction is a literary genre that I've recently had a weird spark of interest in, and I am very happy about that since there are a lot of fantastic books that I now have added to my TBR and that I am very excited to explore. Most of the books that I've recently bought and that are of my current interest have to do with literature, so you will see a common theme in most of those, but not all of them are. So without further ado, let's get to this short and sweet non-fiction book haul that will hopefully inspire you to read more non-fiction, which is something that I myself have to do and that I am going to hopefully start doing from now onwards. The first four non-fiction works that I am going to show you have a common theme, and it is that they are modern non-fiction classics, and you will see what I mean by that once I start showing them to you. The first one of them is, of course, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. This is the classic when it comes to feminism, and in this novel Virginia Woolf discusses women as authors and the difficulties that they have traditionally have in order to become writers. This is a very short piece that I can't believe I haven't read yet, but that I feel like once I must read sooner than later, and two, one that I have recently been really intrigued by, so I guess it will be one of my next reads. The next, in a way, non-fiction classic is Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde, one of the key figures when it comes to black feminism. I am so sorry if I mispronounced her name. This book is a collection, I think, of her most popular essays, and it is one that I have always been intrigued by, but that I have recently been hearing a lot of praise about, so I thought that it was finally time for me to pick it up and read it for myself. Next, and on a similar note, I have Women, Race and Class by Angela E. Davis. This is a non-fiction classic about the relationship between women, race and social class. I believe it starts speaking about slavery and moves to more modern day times. This sounds like it's going to be a book that will be harder to read than the previous two, but it is one that I have always been intrigued by, and it is one that I am very interested to explore. And in the same collection, and similarly when it comes to the theme of feminism, I have Caliban and the Witch, Women, the Body and Primitive Accumulation by Silvia Federici. This is also a book that discusses feminism and explores the relationship between female oppression and capitalism. It's also a bit of a longer one, but it sounds like it's going to be a fascinating and very enlightening read. Plus, I adore the title and I also believe that it gives an overview of this relationship between female oppression and capitalism from the Middle Ages to modern times. So hopefully it won't be as hard to read as I expect to, and I'm sure it will also be, such as this one and the other two, a very enlightening read. And speaking of classics, the next one is a piece of non-fiction that I think is also considered a classic, and is The Mad Woman in the Attic, the woman writer and the 19th century literary imagination by Sandra M. Gilbert and Susan Govar. This is a beast of a non-fiction work that explores female 19th century authors and their works, taking the title from the figure of Bertha from Jane Eyre. The book is one that is recommended if you are interested in 19th century fiction by women, so I am very excited to finally own this piece of a non-fiction work, and I am also very excited to start exploring it as soon as I have the time. And now, moving on to more contemporary releases, the next one is a non-fiction that I believe is also a piece of criticism, and it is Wayward Life's Beautiful Experiments by Saidiya Harman. This is a book that talks about black female key figures in history from the early 20th century. It's a book that I found out about because of YouTube, so I will link the video where I first heard of it down below. But it's a book that is supposed to be an account of females whose names aren't so much well known and who took part in key events of Black history. It's a book that I don't want to talk much about because I don't want to know much about before I get into it, but it is one that I am very intrigued by, and it is one that I believe will be one of the first ones I get to, even though I am very excited for all of them and I want to read them all like right now. And the next three books go back to our initial novel, which was Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, since they are all about books. They are what we call here on YouTube authors talking about other authors, about the purpose of literature, and about the literary inspirations. I don't know how to explain it, so I will just show you the title so you will see by yourself what I mean by that. The first book is Annie Ernaux's L'écriture comme un couteau. This is a series of responses that Annie Ernaux wrote as a response to some interview questions the, I believe, journalist Frédéric Yves Genet sent her. It's a very short work, as much of Annie Ernaux's works, and it's one that I am very interested in because I love Annie Ernaux, I love all she has to say. So what she had to say about writing, which is also a common theme in most of her works, is something that I am very intrigued by, and I am going to make the most of this very brief mention of Annie Ernaux to say that I am very happy that she has won the Nobel Prize, and please read her if you haven't. And the next two non-fiction books that have to do with authors writing about other authors and about writing are two recent releases. The first one is A Horse at Night on Writing by Amina Kane. This is a book that was one of my most anticipated works. It's a book that lots of people who have already read haven't stopped raving about, and it's, as the title suggests, a book in which the author Amina Kane explores writing, the purpose of writing, and talks about some of her famous authors. I have browsed through the index and he talks about The Love of My Life, Annie Ernaux, which I just mentioned. She talks about Elira Ferrante, about Anna Pachova, about Rachel Kask, and so on and so forth. It's also a book that is very short and that will most likely be one of the next non-fiction books I pick up because it just sounds amazing and I wanna jump into the hype train. And last but not least, I have Death by Landscape by Elvia Wilk. This is a piece of non-fiction exploring how the exploration of environmental related themes and nature in literature works in order to raise consciousness about how our ways of living in order to help the environment. I don't know if what I just said made sense, so I hope it did, but this is a book that I am very intrigued by. I have recently been really intrigued by books dealing with nature and exploring themes such as how what we do to the world affects us and affects the world we are living. So this collection of essays is one that I am very excited to get to and that I am very excited to explore. It will most likely be my next read, so stay tuned for a review as soon as I finish it. And that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this very short book haul. It had been a while since I did a book haul here. I don't usually do those, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some inspiration when it comes to reading non-fiction. I hope I made you be excited about some of these works, and I hope this will inspire you to read some non-fiction, at least during Non-Fiction November. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below if you read any of these books or any of these authors and what are your thoughts on them. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And I hope your day is gone amazing. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!